Goal horns have become part of the fabric of hockey. Almost every hockey team in existence has one. The goal horn is a unique opportunity for teams to build out their brand with a sound. Having a unique sounding goal horn that reminds people of your team is invaluable to a sports team. The tradition of sounding a boat, truck, or train horn after a goal has a history that goes all the way back to the 70s, starting with the Chicago Blackhawks. In 1973, Blackhawks owner Bill Wirtz thought it would be a great idea to use his yacht's horn to celebrate goals at the Madhouse on Madison. Starting in the 1973 playoffs, Blackhawks goals were followed by the sound of a Callenberg Q3.
It was tipped out in front of the line.
The horn wasn't a permanent addition, however, as it was used off and on after the 1973 playoffs, and in the late 70s, a siren was used, which was followed by the Blackhawks fight song, Here Come the Hawks. In 1983, the Blackhawks decided to make the horn a permanent addition, and it has followed every home goal since. Their now infamous goal song, Chelsea Dagger, came out in 2008, and has provided for one of the most iconic goal horn and song combinations in the entire National Hockey League. Following Chicago's successful use of their goal horn, Buffalo decided to follow suit, installing their own Callenberg Q3 in 1988. This Q3 had a different tuning than the Blackhawks, however, so the sounds weren't too similar. In another attempt to differentiate themselves from the Hawks, they added sirens in the 90s, which were later removed in the late 2000s. Buffalo has been using DJ Cool's Let Me Clear My Throat for a goal song for the past few seasons, and it seemed to have stuck after years of bouncing around from goal song to goal song. The Winnipeg Jets were the first team to make their horn unique to the city when they took a CP rail horn and added it to their game presentation in 1992. When the original Jets packed up their bags and moved to Arizona, the horn was left for the IHL turned AHL Manitoba Moose who would be taking their place. The horn moved with the Moose to the MTS Center, and when the reincarnations of the Jets came back to Winnipeg, they continued to use the original Jets goal horn. The same goal horn has been used for both incarnations of both the Winnipeg Jets and the Manitoba Moose. Also in 1992, the then Hartford Whalers purchased their own goal horn to add to the iconic goal song, Brass Bonanza. The horn they purchased was a Callenberg Q4, marking the first non-Q3 Callenberg horn in the NHL. When the team moved from Hartford to Carolina, the horn was taken with them, and it's been the only horn ever used for Carolina Hurricanes goals.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
When Disney brought the NHL to Anaheim in 1993, they purchased a Callenberg EP90 horn to celebrate Mighty Ducks goals. The horn has the lowest pitch of any NHL horn currently, and has a very unique sound to it. When the team dropped the word mighty in 2006, they added a siren to the horn that was used until the 2016 playoffs, in addition to changing their goal song to local band Pennywise's hit, Bro Him. The Ducks' neighbors to the north and the Sharks also started using their horn in the 1993 season, when they moved into their current arena from the Cow Palace. The Sharks purchased a Callenberg Triton S120, a horn typically found on aircraft carriers. The Sharks skated out to 2 Unlimited to get ready for this in their inaugural game, and after ending their use of Rock and Roll Part 2 in their 25th season, the team came full circle and started using it following goals. As far as goal songs go, the Blues may have one of the most iconic in the NHL. When the Blues Go Marching In has been a tradition since the team came into the league in 1967, and became their goal song soon after, making it arguably the first true NHL goal song. The horn, or rather horns, came into the equation in the 1993 season. Over the years, however, the horns have been sounding worse. The Blues attempted to fix this before the 2017-18 season, but it didn't last too long. The Buell Reed horns that the Red Wings are known for came into use in 1995, replacing a unique call horn at Joe Louis Arena. When the team made the move over to Little Caesars Arena, there is a button to trigger the recording. Perhaps the Wings will have a new goal horn soon? Only time will tell. Another team to use the recording for their goal horn is the New York Rangers. Prior to the current horn and song's introduction in 1995, the team used an old New York fire truck horn and siren. In 1995, it was replaced with a synthesized recording of the horn mixed with their new goal song Slapshot, composed by their organist and music director, Ray Castoldi.
So that's totally my favorite moment of work, and I wrote that song too, so that makes me extremely happy to hear a song that I wrote and everybody thinks it is.
The final team to introduce their current goal horn in 1995 was the Ottawa Senators. After a few seasons without a horn, the team got an Airchime N3H off a Via Rail engine to celebrate goals. In the first season, it used all three bells of the horn, and produced a considerably different sound than what we're used to today, where the third bell of the horn is foul. Another 90s expansion team got their current horn a few years later in 1997. The Florida Panthers has used what's best described as a buzzer for goals in the first few seasons of existence before purchasing a Callenberg Q3. In shipping, however, one of the bells got damaged. They still liked its sound and opted to keep it. Now Panthers goals are followed by a truly one-of-a-kind horn and some Panther growls. Another new team for the 93-94 NHL season didn't get their current horn until 1998 in the Dallas Stars. After moving from Minnesota, they used a siren and horn recording until purchasing two Callenberg KDT 123s in 1998. A single horn was used at Reunion Arena for a few seasons before making a move with the team to the American Airlines Center in 2001. The second horn the team had bought didn't see use until their AHL team moved to Cedar Park, Texas in 2009, where the second horn was installed. Now both NHL and AHL Stars goals are celebrated with a Callenberg KDT 123. The Nashville Predators had their goal horn and song figured out from the start. They've had their goal horn since their inaugural game in 1998. The then expansion Predators purchased a Callenberg F3, and it's been in the rafters of Bridgestone Arena ever since. The team's goal song has only changed once in their history as well. A custom version of Tim McGraw's I Like It, I Love It, recorded for the team, has stayed through the change, but the song following it switched from Rock and Roll Part 2 to Gold on the Ceiling in 2014. But the fans have continued to chant along with the tune. The Calgary Flames were one of three teams where we couldn't get a conclusive date where the horn was first used. It was narrowed down to sometime between 1998 and 2001, when the team installed a Buell 4-chime horn set. Previously, the team had used a recording of a Callenberg S120, which is the same model as the Sharks. The Flames actually have two different horns in their arena, the Buell horn for the Flames, and an Airchime horn for the WHL's Calgary Hitmen. The other Albertan team, the Edmonton Oilers, introduced their horn at the start of the 1999-2000 season. The Oilers horn, or however horns, are an array of Hadley Bully truck horns, as a nod to the city of Edmonton being a transportation hub. During their 2006 playoff run, the original horns were getting drowned out by the crowd, so they added extra horns to the array to increase volume. When the team moved to Rogers Place in 2016, they brought the horns with them, though the different arena acoustics changed the sound of the horn slightly. With the move came a new goal song, Stab by The Attacks, which is a welcome change. When the Columbus Blue Jackets joined the NHL in the year 2000, they selected a Callenberg S203C to be their goal horn of choice. The sound has changed dramatically over the years, and can differ wildly from game to game. Oh, and you think I forget about the cannon? The cannon tradition started in 2007, when the team purchased a replica Napoleon cannon. Each firing of the cannon after a goal is always preceded by an excerpt of AC/DC's For Those About to Rock, which is infamous for its cannon fire. The cannon fires what are known as blanks, which just create smoke and a flash. The actual sound of the cannon comes from a charge up in the rafters of Nationwide Arena. If you look up when it's fired, you can see a flash, like in this video. Les Canadiens de Montréal added their goal horn around the year 2000. Following every Habs goal since, it's been the sound of an airchime K3HA. The horn changed sound subtly over time in the 2010s, the reason unknown to us why. Prior to using a goal horn, the Canadiens had used the Cocktail sur Glace remix of Rock and Roll Part 2, which can still be heard as the Rimouski Oceanic goal song. The Minnesota Wild joined the NHL in the year 2000, bringing the NHL back to the state of hockey after the North Stars left for Dallas in the 90s. The Minnesota Wild went back to the early days of goal horns and purchased a Callenberg Q3A. This horn has been the sound of the Wild since their first goal. The Wild found a unique way to integrate their goal horn into their arena, as it is perched on top of one of the in-arena lighthouses. The lighthouse also emits smoke and flashes when the Wild light the lamp. The Wild have also kept it very simple with their goal songs, starting with Rock and Roll Part 2, moving to Crowd Chant, and then ending up at their current song, Let's Go Crazy, which is used by every other team in the Twin Cities. The other team to use Crowd Chant as their goal song is the New York Islanders. In the year 2000, the Islanders purchased a Callenberg T3A to put an end to the rotating door of goal horns and sirens they have had previously.
Excellent work by the line of Conley and
The Isles had a very public blunder with their goal horn in 2015 when they unveiled a new goal horn to coincide with their move to the Barclays Center. This goal horn was hated by basically everyone, and they quickly decided to ditch it and bring the old horn over to the new arena. The Washington Capitals have had a police siren following goals since at least the late 80s, making it one of the first goal sirens in the NHL. The horn came into effect in the year 2000, after new owner Ted Leonsis insisted that one be added, where it originally replaced the siren outright. However, the fan feedback was so drastic, the siren was quickly added back in and used in conjunction with the horn. The horn changed slightly in the early 2010s, but we weren't able to find anything concrete about why it happened. The Tampa Bay Lightning's goal horn reminds many locals of the sounds of the nearby Port of Tampa, which makes sense, as the Bolt's goal horn came off a cruise ship that was being scrapped. The horn, a Callenberg S203CV, was first used sometime between 2000 and 2003. Replacing a siren and a recording that they have been using prior. When the then St. Pete Times Forum was being renovated before the 2011-2012 season, 2 Tesla coils were installed hanging below the catwalks. After every goal, the energy is created in both the stands and above the ice. When the then Phoenix Coyotes rebranded with the move to their new arena in Glendale in 2003, a new goal horn came into use for the team. Prior to 2003, the Coyotes had used a coyote howl sound effect as their quote-unquote goal horn. The horn they started using in 2003 is in use to this day. It's a Callenberg Q3. The Coyotes kept the howl through the years, fitting it perfectly into their current goal song, Howlin' For You by the Black Keys. Also in 2003, the Colorado Avalanche replaced their iconic siren and avalanche warning horn with a new, more traditional goal horn. The Avalanche's current horn is a Callenberg KPH 130. And the old sirens and warning horn have still been present in some of the goal songs they've used since the change. In 2014, the Avalanche's goal horn had a bad day as it was used while broken, and it was pretty easy to tell.
Ryan O'Reilly from Matt Duchene, and the Avalanche lead 1-0. That's now.
The Penguins felt it would be a great way to kick off the Sidney Crosby era in 2005 with the addition of a new goal horn, replacing the traditional siren that they had used in years prior. The Penguins currently use 2 Airchime KMJ 234 goal horns, which produce a great harmony.
Penguins have a 2-0 lead. Oh, goodness, great balls of fire, what a play by
For the first few months of the start of the 2005 season, they had only one of the 2 horns running, which resulted in a more rougher sounding horn, similar to that of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins goal horn. Toronto, from what we could find, was the first team to have a fan poll to decide their new goal horn. After using the same horn through the 90s, the Leafs decided that 2005 would be the time to bring in a more traditional horn. They decided to leave it up to the fans to pick between 3 goal horns, which sadly haven't surfaced since the poll ended. Either way, the fans picked a Callenberg S203CV, and it's been sounded for goals ever since. A year later, in the place where it's always sunny, the Flyers introduced their new goal horns. The Flyers had multiple horns in the past, including one that was the same model as the Flames. This horn is still installed and set up in Wells Fargo Arena, used for current events outside of hockey, such as Philadelphia Wings Lacrosse and the Frozen Four. The 2 new horns, introduced in 2006, are both Callenberg S203C horns, creating arguably one of the loudest horns in the league. The Flyers have used a plethora of goal songs over the past few years, from the Danny Briere-suggested Maria, I Like It Loud by Scooter, better known as Dupe, to goal songs that tie into the city with Gonna Fly Now from the Rocky soundtrack, to the EDM remix Frankenstein that is their current goal song. Moving on to our favorite team, the Boston Bruins. The Bruins had used a train horn recording of an MBTA commuter line horn since the then-named Fleet Center had opened towards the ends of the 06-07 season, when the front office staff felt the train horn didn't have enough power when the team scored. During that offseason, the then DJ compiled a list of 10 possible replacements, including sirens and horn recordings. In the end, a fairly common recording of a Callenberg KM135 was chosen, and it's haunted Leafs fans ever since.
But it lingers. And it haunts me!
The LA Kings were in a similar position to the Bruins after the 06-07 season, feeling their Callenberg S203CV just wasn't powerful enough. They wanted to find something unique to define their goals. They ended up selecting a pair of Nathan K3LAs that would ring throughout Staples Center every time the Kings lit the lamp, starting in the 07-08 season. The Devils moved to the Prudential Center in 2007, and the team had previously used a recording for some time that could be heard during iconic Devils moments, like Marty Brodeur's Full Ice Goal. Initially, the goal horn used at the Prudential Center was a recording of a Callenberg D4, but about halfway through the season, the team had installed a real Callenberg D4, now known for being one of the loudest horns in the league. The team does dig into their goal horn history for Retro Night, when the old Meadowlands recording rings throughout the Prudential Center. The Devils had a bit of trouble finding a new goal song after Rock and Roll Part 2 was banned by the NHL. The song had been associated with the Devils since they were the Colorado Rockies, and is perhaps linked to the best Devils moment of the 21st century, when Adam Henrique snuck one past Henrik Lundqvist in OT to eliminate the rival Rangers from the playoffs. Eventually, the Devils settled on Howl by the Gaslight Anthem, a song that the fans warmed up to and have shoehorned a You Suck chant to. Vancouver wanted to better connect their goal horn to the city of Vancouver when they made the switch to their current horn in 2009. The Canucks had previously used an air chime, 3-chime horn, and even further back had used a recording at Pacific Coliseum. The Canucks now have a KM250 and S203C in addition to the air chime 3-chime.
It's up in the air. Score!
In 2009, the KM250 was actually a different horn, but we weren't able to determine the model. The sound of the horn is similar to those of BC Ferries, who sponsored the team. The KM250 was introduced as the middle horn in 2013 as the previous horn was discontinued. The Canucks goal song has bounced around from song to song, including personal goal songs, but that never really caught on. The most memorable goal song in Canucks history has to be Holiday by Green Day, a song fans still want to return, with it being forever linked to the Canucks Cup run in 2011. The newest NHL team, also has the newest goal horn in the NHL. The Vegas Golden Knights started their goal horn history with a recording of a Kallenberg S120. For their goal song, they chose a Vegas-based band, Panic at the Disco's Vegas Lights, including a Go Knights Go chant, which has followed every Knights goal from the start of the regular season. In November of 2017, however, the team introduced a real Kallenberg KPH 130 as their new goal horn.
Lucas Spies first in the air, and the Golden Knights have the 1-0 lead.
Along with a reveal video, where Chance the Gila Monster was the one to reveal the Knights' new horn. The team's goal song stayed through the change. Goal horns are an irreplaceable part of sports game presentation, with horns being used for other sports now, such as after touchdowns or before a third down in football, be it indoors or outdoors, or baseball with horns being used after a pitch gets blasted over the fence for a home run. Soccer is also catching on, and hopefully it will become a thing in MLS very soon. As for basketball, well, maybe the NBA will catch on. Until then, may goal horns live on, regardless of what sport you're watching. Don't forget to subscribe to both our channels and follow us on Twitter. Until next time, thanks for watching.